So my story takes place in a little town outside of Knoxville, Tennessee, or also known as Knoxville, Tennessee. I spent some of my years there. Unfortunately, things are really slow down there, but that's beside the point. Anyway, this story takes place. Well, we'll go back to. It's a week before my best friend's wedding. He's getting ready to get married. It's a big to do. His fiance's in town, everybody's in town, everything's there, they're getting ready. When suddenly the unthinkable happens. She decides that she's going to go back home to West Virginia and not get married. Which is really sad. Let's all say, oh, for Dominic Uzo. Yeah, it was over. It was done. He was devastated. He was mortified. It was done. But anyway, so here I am in town for his wedding, and so were about, 100 other folks, Italian family, all these folks have flown in for this big wedding. But anyway, I was one of the groomsmen, and he had reserved, that was back when GM did dumb things, like a free 24-hour test drive. Anybody remember that? It's like a free rent-a-car for a day. So he kind of decided that he would take advantage of the free rent-a-car for a day, and that he would get a Hummer for the night of the wedding, so that we could all drive around, and that's when Hummers were cool. And we would drive around. They're still cool? Yeah, okay, so Hummers are still cool in Knoxville, Tennessee. And so anyway, we decided we'd drive this big Hummer around. But anyway, that was going to be the bachelor party. We were going to hang out in the Hummer, drive around Knoxville, wave at the chicks. Hey, we got a Hummer. So anyway, unfortunately, we couldn't do that, and the rest of the groomsmen had all went home. They were already, whatever. So I decided I was going to make Dominic Cuzo's life a little happier because, that's the holiday spirit. And so anyway, I said, Dom, I know this big hill where they have telephone poles and stuff. I said, I used to drive my four-wheel drive truck up there. Yeah, I had a four-wheel drive truck. That's a long time ago when I lived in Knoxville, Tennessee. Anyway, so I said, let's take the Hummer up there. Those things are unstoppable. Let's get the Hummer up on there. I hadn't been up this hill in a couple of years. I sold my truck a while back. So I convinced Dominic. He's like, nothing's going to happen. So I'm like, no, man, nothing's going to happen to it. It's going to be fine. Trust Nathan. I got you covered. So we go up on the hill. We get it in four-wheel drive. We're going up on this hill. All of a sudden, it's a little more narrow than I remember. Hummers are a little wider than we're in. And things are screeching on the sides. This Hummer's going Now, let's explain. I mean, Dominic Cuzo here is devastated because he was supposed to be getting married that day. I mean, in fact, he's supposed to be, on his honeymoon. And he's hanging out with me, and we're scratching up a borrowed Hummer. So I'm a little sweaty over there, and I'm like, I don't know, man, just keep on going. Just keep on going. We'll go down. We'll be done. We'll be good. Nothing's going to be hurt. So we get to one point, and we just can't go any further. I literally remember standing on the side of this cliff, telling him, all right, you got another inch. You got it. Turn it. And so finally we got it turned around on this little ravine. And finally we're pointed to go over top of this big hill, and we're about ready to go down. So I remember going down this so many times. But literally you're pointed so far up when you're getting ready to go down that all you see is the sky. So for all you know, it's a cliff at the bottom. But I convinced Dom to go on down. And so we did. We go on down. It's just straight down. And we're going down the beach. We get down, and apparently we had forgotten, or I didn't realize, that it had been raining for the last 3 days. But it's all right, cool. We got a Hummer. You can't get a Hummer stuck. So we get to the bottom, and guess what? Ladies and gentlemen, you can get a Hummer stuck. So there we are in the middle of the mud, which is about, I don't know, it felt like it was 20 feet deep, but it couldn't have been that deep. Anyway, so there we are for about 3 hours, jamming it in drive and reverse, going... Mud is flying everywhere. The whole Hummer, from top to bottom, is completely, devastatingly covered in mud. And lights are coming on, like check engine, check brakes, check this, check that, check that. And I'm like, come on, dude, all we need to do is just rock it one more time. And Dom's like, we've been rocking it for 2.5 hours. It's not coming undone. And it's like 2 in the morning, and it's like, it's kind of, we're like in a very devastating position. What are we going to do? So finally we call a friend who comes over, pulls us out at 2 in the morning. We spend the next, until about 8 o'clock in the morning at the car wash with $35 in quarters, spraying down the Hummer. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I know you would think that it was all scratched up, but the outside wasn't scratched up at all. Surprisingly. It was covered in mud. We sprayed the mud. We got it all off. I mean, literally, we had to change car wash stations because of all the mud. And like, it's just falling off plugs. But then we realized that the bottom of the Hummer is completely scratched. It had like a plastic coating on it, and the coating is all scraped up. So anyway, we go out and we finally clean it for hours and hours. We're driving it, and it's running really rough. And Dom's like, Nathan, what do I got to do? I got to take this thing back tomorrow. I'm like, all right, here's what you do. You drive it in. You pull in. It's going to look clean on the outside. You sign the paperwork, and you leave. Dom's like, all right. So he gets there. The guy comes around. He takes a walk around. Nobody thinks to lay underneath the Hummer. And so he signs off the paperwork. I'm like, whew. If they call, just tell them, hey, it was good when I dropped it off. So anyway, long story short, they did in fact call, and Dom did in fact use the line, well, it was good when I dropped it off. And so they sent him pictures of it and said that he was a big jerk and said we weren't supposed to take it off-roading, yada, 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 yada. But anyway, Dom's day was a little bit happier, and that's the holiday spirit. And ladies and gentlemen, that is why we still have Christmas today.